The devil himself, they say, is a habitual traveler on the roads of New England. The stories of his dark misdeeds in places like Redemption, Temperance, and Wickham are plenty, and people whisper them under the cloak of night before swiftly crossing themselves and blowing out the candles. This is one such story. Imagine that you are now stepping softly through the doorway, the hinges of the door groaning faintly behind you, though the sound is swallowed near whole by the hush that blankets the chamber. The hospital chamber, in which you have just stepped. A single taper gutters on a wrought iron stand near the foot of the bed, casting its wan light about the room in trembling arcs. Shadows stretch long and strange upon the walls. One might think them specters, were one so inclined in the late hour. The air is close, heavy with the mingled scent of camphor, vinegar, and the lingering musk of sickness. You would note the open window above the narrow cot, pane ajar to the night, but no breeze troubling the stillness within. Only the gauze curtain fluttering now and again, stirred by some unseen draught or providence. The bed is slight, its linens coarse and plainly laundered. A man lies upon it, pale and still, save the rise and fall of his chest, labored, slow. His brow glistens with sweat, though he shivers under the coverlet. At his side rests a tin basin, half filled with ruddy water, and a cloth stained deep as wine. A nursemaid dozes on a stool nearby, chin sunk to her breast, her cap askew, hands folded in her apron. No other souls stir. The great hall beyond this chamber, once a chapel by the look of the vaulted ceiling and arched windows, sleeps under God's eyes, its rows of beds cloaked in dimness. You hear now and then the distant rasp of breath, the creak of timber, the faint clink of glass on glass. Apothecary's work, perhaps, or else some ghostly echo of a duty once performed. Suddenly the man's breathing stops. And after a moment, he lets out a low death rattle that echoes faintly in the room. The nurse stirs, but does not wake. The candle flickers, and then it also dies. Then the bed creaks and groans as the man begins to move. He sits up, puts his feet to the cold tiled floor. He stands slowly as if this body is strange and alien to him. A baleful light begins to burn in his eyes. He reaches out a hand, slowly, 2 fingers extended. As the nurse stirs in her sleep, he pushes the fingers into her mouth, which opens ever wider as he continues to push his fingers, then the rest of his hand in. As his whole hand disappears into her mouth, her throat distending, her lips wrapped tight around the man's wrist, the nurse's eye shoots open, with fear. In the next room, a long white hall filled with a dozen sick beds, more than half of them occupied with various patients suffering from various ailments. The nurse's choked screams ring faintly as the candles extinguish, leaving only the cold silvery light of the moon behind. As one, the patients in the room begin moaning and wailing, begin to crawl out of their beds and onto the black and white tiled floor, crawling toward each other at the center of the room, moaning, wailing, trailing dark blood behind them in glistening streaks. Another nurse and a young daughter come rushing into the room. The nurse screams with fear. "God above," the doctor says. And in the center of the room, on the floor, the patients have crawled to each other, formed with their bodies a semblance of an eye radiating, their legs and arms crooked and bent, their heads together where the iris would be. Blood and ichor pouring freely from their mouths, turning the tiled floor the color of offal. Elsewhere, in the waning light of an autumn afternoon. The village of Tarrytown sits nestled along the eastern shore of the Hudson River, its chimney tops gently smoking as if the houses themselves were sighing into the season's close. A winding road, dappled with the last golden leaves of the year, leads past modest farmsteads and low stone walls clocked in moss to the heart of the village, a quaint green upon which the whitewashed church stands sentinel with its weather-beaten steeple reaching skyward. Children laugh as they tumble hoops down the lane, and the blacksmith's hammer rings cheerily from his forge, echoing like a bell of industry through the crisp, still air. Housewives sweep doorsteps clear of brittle leaves, and the smell of baked apples and spice wafts from kitchen windows. The tavern, its sign gently creaking in the breeze, welcomes weary travelers with the promise of mulled cider and a warm hearth. But as the sun sinks down behind the western hills and long shadows creep from the edges of the woods, Tarrytown begins to hold its breath. The air grows cooler, sharp with the scent of distant smoke and fallen leaves rotting in the hollows. Birds cease their chatter, and even the wind seems to hush, as though mindful of unseen things that stir beneath the forest boughs. It is in the gloaming that the village takes on an older air. Lanterns flicker to life behind wavy glass windows, and doors are drawn shut a touch sooner than need be. For though the people of Tarrytown are stout-hearted and God-fearing, they do not speak lightly of the shadows that gather beyond the glen, of the old Dutch burial ground, nor of the silent rider who years ago haunted these winding lanes when the moon was full. The road to Sleepy Hollow passes close by, and it is well known that in the air in those parts it is thick with dreams and omens, a place where time lingers strangely and tales refuse to die. Here, amid the russet hush of late autumn, the veil between the world of the living and the realm of old superstition wears thin. And though the fire still crackles merrily upon the hearth, the eyes of those within sometimes glance towards the window, half expecting to see something unnatural upon the road. There is one home where the mysterious and strange is always welcome. It's in the Black House, known as Old Bittersweet, where the retired schoolmaster Ichabod Crane lives with his 4 wards, 4 sisters, called Mary, Mabel, Martha, and Mercy Godfrey. And as winter approaches and the nights grow longer and cooler, the hearth only burns all the warmer and the windows glow with amber glow. It is here that we truly begin our tale one fine late October morning, with the first frost of the year covering the ground, and the Black House, known as Old Bittersweet, slowly stirring to life. Esther. You wake up drenched in sweat, your heart beating as if it's trying to get out of your chest, your nightclothes stick into your body in the most uncomfortable way. You can see by the redness in the sky that it's barely dawn. Outside a cock crows, but its scream is suddenly cut off. Your dream, just a giant eye staring at you, glaring, judging, fades slowly. Besides you, the chamber pot containing your night soil you see has blood in it. Your breath is ragged, but you are slowly managing to calm down. It was just a dream. What do you do?
It takes me a moment of breathing, of sitting in bed and letting myself sit in the discomfort of sweat and remnants of terror before my heart finally begins to slow down in my chest. It's early. The others shouldn't be awake yet, although I have no idea when they went to sleep. as much as I would like them to sleep at a reasonable hour, it gives me some time to myself. Once I've calmed down, I am quick to get rid of the evidence of the blood in my soil. It's not uncommon. And if there were anything wrong with me, Mr. Crane would be able to take care of me, so I have nothing to worry about. I get dressed. I won't be going back to bed anytime soon, so I start on the chores in the house, ones that are quiet enough not to wake the rest of the household.
The time approaches for you to go work, because you do have a job outside of the house, but there's still a bit of time left, and your sisters will soon be awake and ready for breakfast with you down in the kitchen. Speaking of your sisters, if you were to look in on Martha, you would find that Martha is not in bed. Now, whether or not that would surprise you.
It doesn't.
Martha, another night without sleep. The real problem with this business, as the legality of it, of course, is that it's dark business, best conducted in the dark. You hold aloft a shielded lantern, the glow of it barely enough to guide the hunter in through the doors of the barn. Being called a hunter was his idea, makes everything seem less unsavory. "Fresh one tonight," he says. "Gone from the pauper's grave in Milton. Just happened to be there visiting my uncle when I saw the undertakers coming back to the village, shovels on their shoulders. There's nothing but half an hour of work to dig 'em out. They don't bury them none too deep in the pauper's grave." The body he places on your work table is indeed fresh. A man in his early 40s by the look of it, no signs of disease but the neck clearly broken. He's still wearing rags, a vagabond, probably assaulted by the night watch a little too overzealously. You thank him, reaching for the coins you keep in the earthenware jar for just such occasions. "You know," your hunter says, "I'd be more than happy to take something a little sweeter than coin in payment if you ever had a mind to it." He smiles, holding his dirty cap in his hand, looking almost bashful. What do you do?
I'm going to pause my counting, and there's a moment of consideration. Looking at the coin, and then looking at the man.
I do want to say that in this case, in this time, in this day and age, something a little sweeter would probably be not much more than a bit of a kiss or something.
I imagine a little.
Yeah, I don't want to give the impression that he's asking for
something filthy.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
And that's where the consideration is. Like, what's the harm? And then I'm just gonna kind of smile. I'm afraid that might be a little bit more pricey, too expensive for my taste.
Maybe someday I'll bring you one that's just right, and if the pleasure of it takes you, maybe you'll honor me with just such a gift. But coin will do me fine. What is it that you do exactly with these? Fresh catch.
How familiar am I with this man? Have we done business?
He's brought you
a few
about
times?
3 or 4 probably at this point. He's just a very entrepreneurial, vagabond.
I am so glad you asked. I'm gonna give him another, just a little bit of a tip, and kind of that recompense for not giving a little smooch.
Mm-hmm.
And then I immediately whisk towards the body and start describing how I imagine this man died, and trying to move his head, and oh, you hear that crick? That's likely, and describe probably the vertebrae it broke. And just fascinated with the way, very specifically, this man would have had to die.
He's looking a little pale around the gills as you go through all of this, and he's wringing his cap a little bit more than usual. And he's like, "Well, that's Sure is mighty interesting. Is that really the sort of thing that a proper young woman such as yourself should be doing in the dead of night? It seems a little bit, well, unsavory. You hear in the courtyard, Keeper, Mercy's dog, bark, probably because Mercy is awoken. And this is your sign that probably time to wrap up business, as the household is certainly stirring.
You have to know, he didn't even stand up. I'm not sure what he's barking at. He is just being so lazy. At this point, like, I'm kind of kneeling and already more talking to myself than this vagabond about what's happening. More of a mutter to myself of, well, what could have been different? How could this have ended different? And then I realize what he's saying, and I look at him. Oh, absolutely not proper whatsoever. But who are you to judge?
Well, I guess I'll be on my way then. If that's all there is to it, should I bring more if I find other of equal quality?
Yes, of course. I will pay you. All
right then. Have yourself a blessed day, ma'am. And he kind of backs away, keeping an eye on you and on the body, and kind of backs out of the door, and his head kind of stays on a little bit, and he takes one last look at the body and goes, "Oh, dear Lord," and he puts his cap on and hightails it out of there. What are you going to do?
Now, no longer having an audience, I imagine there's some kind of apron nearby, put over top of my night clothes, the robe that I would have been wearing. I don't want to waste any time, particularly as the sun is rising and my sisters are probably stirring. It's my mess, and I need to get to it sooner rather than later. Plus, it's a fun mess. As I start to get to work on the body.
Excellent. Meanwhile, inside the house, we see somebody else who is very close to you, Martha. Someone who was born very much at the same time as you, closest of your sisters. That'd be Mabel. Mabel, first one up as always. Your sister's clothes for the day are freshly laundered and ready, and you have collected eggs and fresh bread from the village for everyone's breakfast. As always, seeing your thick shoulders and strong hands, the baker has offered you a job, but a job would get in the way of doing what you do best: take care of your sisters. The man sitting at the table behind you says, "I swear, that deer had no eyes, but it stared at me and watched until I was damn clear out of its sight." You wish you could respond, could tell him to leave you alone. You can't, though. And you haven't told your sisters about him yet, but he's been visiting you again for the past few weeks. Took him a long while to find you, but now he's here. You watch from the corner of your eye as he butchers a hen. His skull is fractured and missing in pieces, and blood drips on the meat in his hands. "Beware the evil eye," he says. "Not blind like that deer was. Amy, it's looking for you." He grins his black and green grin, then pushes a piece of bloody chicken, bits of feathers and all, into his mouth and chews. You are building up the courage to say something, maybe try to confront him, even though you know it will do you no good, when you hear from behind you, "Mabel, up early again, I see," as old Professor Crane shuffles into the kitchen, leaning more and more heavily on his cane each day. The stranger, you can see out of the corner of your eyes, disappeared, but the butchered chicken is still in your hands. The cloying scent of fresh clover honey hangs in the air. What do you do?
She's gripping the chicken pretty tightly. It's kind of squeezing through her fingers. And just a single tear just rolls down her cheek. And with the kind of shuffle behind her, she quickly wipes her sleeve. Yes, Professor Crane. I went to town and I got us eggs and bread, and the baker offered me a job again. But my duties are here with my sisters. Would you like some breakfast? And she just like gets up and takes the chicken over to the wash bin and washes her hands and starts prepping some food for him.
With some difficulty, he sits down at the table. He's quite old now, not a spring chicken. Speaking of chickens, he once was. And as he sits and goes, "Oh, please don't fuss over me. I'm capable of eating with everybody else. If you don't mind, though, maybe throwing another log into the fire. It is quite a chilly morning. I think winter is just around the corner."
Absolutely, Professor. Do you want another blanket? I can go fetch you one. I did the linens this morning.
No. Stop fussing, Mabel. Stop fussing. I'm all right. I've got my little house goat here. I'm good. Gee, you fuss too much, Mabel. Just have a seat here. Sit with me for a moment. You seem a little bit, a lot of sorts this morning. Is everything all right?
Yeah, I think I just zoned out. Didn't sleep super well last night. Martha was out again, so.
Well, she does like to attend her studies.
Yeah, and they're brilliant. She's so wonderful. It's really great. I'm so glad that she gets to.
Well, she's quite brilliant, and I think will certainly outstrip the old master, the old foxhound himself, soon enough.
Oh, I don't know. You truly are the best.
Oh, now, dear, come on. That'll be enough flattery for one day. Have you seen the young one about? Has Mercy been up?
Oh, I haven't yet, but I imagine that she's getting her beauty sleep.
Mercy, in fact, is not getting her beauty sleep. Mercy, as the youngest sister, it is your job every other morning to walk to Farmer Bartlett's home just over the ridge to collect milk. The morning is cold and biting with the first hint of frost on the grass. You pull your shawl and scarf tighter around you and watch your breath steam up into the heaven. You peer up at the clouds, and not for the first time you wonder how many of these strange and fascinating stories told in the Bible or by priests and nuns are real. Are there really angels? Is there a bearded old man living up in the clouds creating everything you see? Is your mother, Winnie, up there with him? Is your father up there? Oh, Poppet. I'm not up there. I'm here with you, he says.
Hi, Daddy.
Where are you off to on such a frosty morning?
It is my turn to get the milk from the farmer, so Keeper and I are going to race there.
I believe Keeper has the advantage on you. He's got 4 legs and you've only got 2.
Yes, but I have the spirit.
That is true, although he's quite a spirited little fellow, that Keeper of yours. I'm very glad for him. I think he's a very good, very fine companion.
He's a very good boy.
Tell me, Mercy dear, you think you could do me a little favor?
Of course, Daddy.
If you take a pause, you see up there, over the ridgeline, there is an old tree.
I see it.
Would you mind heading on over there? I left something there for you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Keeper, are you ready? We're gonna race. She takes off her shoes and her socks, and she starts booking it across the field.
Your toes feel the cold of the frosty dew that's on the grass as you run all the way up to the hill towards the tree. As you approach it, you start walking around it, looking for what might have been left there for you. There, in the hollow, you and your sisters are going to be in big danger. I need you to make sure they're going to be okay. Look in the hollow
What do you mean
there.
big danger? Okay. Slowly sticks her hand into the darkness of the hollow.
Your hand goes in and you start feeling about. You feel the remnants of twigs and little bits of leaves and maybe some abandoned acorns from some enterprising squirrel or other. And then your fingers touch something cold, hard, thin and round.
She slowly pulls it out.
You find yourself holding a silver necklace with a strange encryption on it that you don't recognize. I left that there just for you, Mercy.
Thank you, Daddy. What is it?
And you have to promise me to keep it very, very safe.
Of course I will.
When it seems like there's nowhere else to run, the light of the morning star will guide you.
Morning star. Okay.
That's
Thank
the
you.
symbol of the morning star. It's the star that guides all the good girls like you and your sister.
Well, should I wear it or should I keep it somewhere safe?
Do what you want. If you want to get yourself a little bit of leather and put it around your neck, that's fine. If you want to keep it in your purse, that's fine also. Whatever you wish.
All right. She is going to take out her handkerchief and fold it into it and put it in her pocket for now.
You know, your mother would have been so proud of the four of you and how you've come up and taken care of each other since she passed. You'd be very, very proud. I'm sure wherever she is, she's looking down on you and she's looking out for you.
Daddy, why is Mommy not with you?
Well, because Mommy has done everything that she needed to do. And now she gets to rest, but Daddy still has a lot of work to do.
Okay.
Run along now. Get some milk for the others and for yourself, and remember, when it seems like there's nowhere else to run, and you can always find that the light of the morning star will guide you.
She holds it tight.
And as you run off to get some milk, I would like to say thank you so much, Raiders, for coming in. We greatly appreciate you, Epic Realms, coming in hot. We are playing Vaesen by Free League Games. It's a little side concoction of mine where we're playing a New England Gothic game. It is a game with mature content in it. So please, buy for yourself if you want to watch. And if you do want to hang out with us, I'm very happy to have you. Thank you so much for the raid. A little later, the four of you, along with Professor Crane and Professor Crane's right-hand man, Harker, are all at the kitchen table and enjoying your breakfast. Harker is bringing in more wood for the potbelly stove, while Mr. Crane seems to be somewhat absorbed by some thought or other, a bit distracted, but the four of you chitter and chatter on, enjoying the breakfast that Mabel has prepared, along with the milk that Mercy has brought. As we take a look around the table at everyone who is there, we'll start with Esther, and you tell us a little bit what the others would see as they gaze upon you on this fine morning, this fine frosty morning of late October.
Well, she's bundled up appropriately for the weather. you'd see that she's changed into clothes that are appropriate to go into town. She has work, after all. She can't stay too long after breakfast, as much as she makes it a point to have breakfast with her family every morning. She is wearing a high-collared dress that has a bit of a shawl over it. Her hair is pulled back, but not up in an updo. It's just very neat. Like she's taken care to look very presentable. And she always does. She is focused on eating, but she's casting a glance at Martha every so often. A bit knowing, a bit questioning, a bit resigned. But she makes no particular comment.
Speaking of Martha, the second eldest, if only by a matter of minutes, what would the others see as they gaze upon Martha this morning?
I think it's more reserved, not as active in the chatter, but nodding along with what people are saying, having maybe a few cents to put in every now and again. I think there's a lot of shoulder touching with Mabel, just kind of a little bump here and there, not conscious, just a need for that contact. I have also changed out of some sleeping clothes, but more dark in nature. I want to make sure that anything I might get up to doesn't necessarily stain anything. So it's not quite grieving black, but just more neutral dark tones to blend that away. I'm playing with my food, maybe musing some thought and catching my older sister looking over. Give her like a little wink and a small smirk, and then just kind of go back to listening to what the rest of the table's saying.
And sitting right next to you, almost as if the two of you are inseparable physically as much as you are psychically, is your younger by only a few minutes sister, Mabel.
Yeah, Mabel is constantly kind of reflecting Martha's movements. The bump of the shoulder, the bump goes back. She'll occasionally intertwine her fingers with Martha's every now and then kind of unintertwine as she goes to grab for food to make sure everybody's plates are full and everyone is getting what they need. Occasionally getting up to check the fire and stoke the flames. She did grab an extra blanket for Professor Crane, and just will occasionally kind of make sure it's up on his shoulders. And she's wearing same color as Martha, kind of those darker tone clothes, but it's more of a work gown. And she's got her hair pulled back with a bandana to keep it out of her eyes. And she's just very... she's not adding anything to any of the conversation, but she is boasting about everybody, and kind of uplifting them and nodding along and asking questions to sound like she's interested, but maybe she's elsewhere in her mind. And every now and then she's kind of clutching a fork, and then you can tell she finds a way to get the whispers and goes back to what she's doing.
And finally, with Keeper asleep at your feet right near the fire, the youngest of the lot, the youngest by a whole year, a little more than a whole year in fact, the biggest gap between any of the sisters is Mercy.
Mercy is, though she is 18, she does look quite a bit younger with her blonde curls and her rosy cheeks. She is smiling, talking to everybody about the random happenstances that are going on in the town. A lot of people talk to her about their problems or things that are going on. So she likes to relay those to her sisters, and every once in a while she'll slip scraps to Keeper, just kind of placing them in front of his nose, and he'll wake up slightly and take it and then go back to sleep. I think this morning she's talking about a gentleman who approached her in the square and offered her a flower, and they started talking about he's a very religious young man, and she found it very fascinating, and he was very kind to her, and then suddenly had to leave when she started speaking of his religion as a mythology instead of as a fact.
Yes, that turns them away almost every time.
Yeah.
The four of you are enjoying each other's company. Along with you, of course, as I was saying, is Mr. Harker. A man of indeterminate age who somehow looks both young and old at the same time, is always fairly well dressed, but has the manners and the hands of someone used to rough work, and is sort of the man who takes care of the land and the house and drives Mr. Crane's carriage and so on and so forth. And he was the one to come and pick you up at your mother's place back in the day. He's not someone who talks a lot, but he has always proven to be very reliable and just kind of a quiet presence in the house. As I said, he finishes bringing in some extra wood for the fire, and then sets a new kettle upon it to make a little bit more tea, and then starts spooning himself some of the breakfast in the plate, which he always eats in sitting in a rocking chair in the corner. And Keeper has the habit of sometimes going over and sitting by him, and he will give him some scritches, and they seem to get along. And if there's any, in whatever he's eating, if there's bits of bacon, he will make sure to feed them over to Keeper, and is good friends with Keeper. And the other person at the table with you, of course, is Mr. Crane himself. You didn't know much about Mr. Crane until you came and lived with him at your mother's behest upon her death. But you do know that the people around here talk about him with respect. There seems to have been some shenanigans, let's say, that he was involved with a long time ago in Sleepy Hollow, which is a little bit north of here. He then relocated here and became the schoolmaster here, and was the schoolmaster for most of his life. And the connection with your mother isn't too clear, but he has always been good to you. He has seen to your education. He has provided you with everything that you need, and he's just been a kind presence in your life. This morning, however, as the four of you talk, and perhaps some of you are thinking about it, time to be heading to work, as I said, he seems a little bit preoccupied, and at some point when there's a bit of a lull in the conversation, he pulls out from inside his housecoat an envelope with a red wax seal on it that has been broken, and he puts the envelope down on the table in front of him and sort of smooths it out. You can clearly see that it's addressed to him, but you can't read the return address. It's too small and upside down and whatnot. But he clears his throat. Girls, if I might have your attention, please, for a few moments before we all scatter for the duties of the day. I wanted to say that it's such a pleasure to see you all here together. It brings so much warmth and happiness to this old man's heart to see you all getting along so fine, and all of you having your own little interests and pursuits, and, well, generally getting on really well. I think your mother would be very, very proud of you, and I know that I am very proud of the lot of you, and I sometimes think that I will miss you very much when the time comes for you to go on your way and make your own way into this world, but so that you know, you will always be welcome here. This will always be your home, old Bittersweet here, and you can stay as long as you want. I would hope that even though this is not your mother's cabin and not the place where you mostly grew up, that you think of it fondly and will continue to do so in the years to come, regardless of what happens. I've received a letter, as you can see. An old student of mine, now schoolmaster himself. How time flies. Name of Elijah Berwin, from Hastings, a little bit south of here. Elijah has written to me to request help in dealing with what he says is a most mysterious and supernatural occurrence in a small town. As you can imagine, I find myself incredibly curious about all of this. However, I believe that traveling, especially this late in the year, would be too difficult for me. And so I was wondering if you would do me the extreme honor and favor of traveling in my name to Hastings and seeing Master Berwin, and perhaps trying to help him with a matter that is most peculiar and fascinating, if also somewhat grotesque.
We owe you much for having taken us in, Professor. I'm sure that my sisters and I wouldn't mind in assisting you in this matter. What exactly is it that's happened?
Master Berwin gives me a few indications. I am certain that there is much more to hear from his lips directly, but he says there is a hospital in Hastings, St. Elizabeth's. It was formerly a military hospital for the British military Fort Crown Point. After the Revolution, it became a convalescence home for soldiers and later a hospital for patients with long-term illnesses. Elijah says a young nurse has come to him to tell him of dark events, including the deaths of several patients, and that she swears that she saw the devil himself stalking the halls of St. Elizabeth's. Now, Elijah is incredibly rational, with a very keen mind, and not one to write such a letter unless he is certain of what it contains.
The devil.
Which one?
Well, it can't be real because it's all a myth, right, Mercy?
Well, yeah, but I mean, which one do they think it is?
There's more than one?
Duh.
I believe that the nurse is perhaps using the name the devil himself metaphorically, but there is no doubt in Elijah's mind that this young woman saw a very peculiar individual and that there were very peculiar events at St. Elizabeth's. Now, I myself find the description of these events rather intriguing, and my rational mind wonders at what the explanation might be for them, perhaps some sort of mass hallucination or some other form of hysteria. But some things remain unexplained. There is apparently one patient and one nurse missing, and several patients dead.
Oh.
Oh no.
Well, there must be a rational explanation.
There must be, but I've seen enough to know that sometimes the rational falls somewhat short of explaining what is happening, and, well, with your particular backgrounds and the skills and knowledge that your mother Winifred has imparted upon you, I thought you might be ideally suited for investigating this particular situation and, well, finding out if indeed rationality falls short.
Well, if it's for you, Professor, then we can do it. I will have to ask for the time off work. But I don't see why we shouldn't go. It would be nice, perhaps, for the rest of you to get out of town for a little while.
I look to Mabel. How are you feeling? Are you feeling up to some travel?
It might be good. Some fresh air. And can cousin come?
Going to hold your hand and then turn to Crane. Cousin can come, yes?
Oh, I don't see how we could keep him away. He is a bird and will fly to wherever he wishes to, and I'm sure Keeper will also want to be part of the excursion.
Oh my goodness, when would we leave? I'll have to prepare.
As soon as possible. I've made some arrangements for you in case you decided to, well, help me with this. Mr. Harker will accompany you. You will take my coach, of course, and you will travel tonight, and you will stop at an inn where I've arranged for you to sleep. And in the morning, we'll find yourself at Hastings early enough to have a full day of investigation in front of you. I believe that a couple of days should be sufficient, and with travel, that would make it perhaps 4 or 5 days at most. What say you? I have a
Yay.
cat right now
Wonderful,
that's trying to
Professor.
eat me.
Thank you for being so accommodating. I think we should go. Yes?
Yes.
I need a reason to read a few more books. Mercy, do you have any suggestions?
Oh, many.
My dear girls, your mother, God rest her soul, had plenty of rumors swirling about her. People do not like independent women with knowledge and will say the cruelest things. Ignore all that. I trust you to do what is right. Elijah is married to a wonderful young woman named Elspeth, who is blind but a weaver of remarkable talent. This here blanket was a gift from her that they were kind enough to send me a few Christmases ago, and he picks up this blanket and he holds it up for you to see as he smooths it out over his thighs. Martha, as he pulls the blanket out, would you do me the favor of rolling for me?
I would love to.
I'm going to go ahead and ask you to roll your learning and magic.
You're muted, Alex.
Ha, my bad. Is it going to be 5 dice rolled or
Yeah, you're going to roll
1d6 plus
5 dice and you're looking for at least 1 6. You have currently 2 Devil's Marks, which you can spend 1 to get 2 extra dice if you want, but that's up to you.
Sure, why not? Okay, because I did not get any 6s. So we'll go ahead and roll 2 more, or do I need to announce it before I say what I got?
No, it's fine. Normally you would announce it before, but
Okay.
it's fine. You can go ahead and do it this time. 1 warning.
1 warning, thank you. I got 1 6.
As you look at the blanket, Martha, the colors of the weave begin to move and blur. In a moment, you see a brief scene A young woman, just a silhouette, impossible to tell who it is holding flowers at 3 gravestones placed beneath a crooked tree. Mabel, you, out of the corner of your eye, see Martha's eyes roll over in her head and she starts to fall back. What do you do?
I go to grab her.
Give me a force plus physique roll.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Two 6s.
2 6s. You reach out and grab her just as she's slipping off the bench. The chain and locket around her neck fall out of her dress collar, and the locket opens up and you see a little tooth go flying out, hit the side of the table and roll to the ground, and you catch Martha just before she topples over. Everyone at the table reacts. Crane goes, Martha, and Martha, you open your eyes and are being held aloft by your sister Mabel.
An immediate smile at seeing Mabel. Mabel, and like try to grab onto and move to sit up again.
Oh my goodness, are you okay?
I'm sorry. I just had a very, very funny dream.
You
You
dreamt
weren't sleeping.
Hmm?
You weren't sleeping, Martha. You
A
just...
daydream, perhaps.
Must have been a daydream then. It just happened so quick. Surely nothing.
Do you need water? Are you sure you're all right?
Water would be lovely. Yes.
I'll get you some.
Oh,
And
thank you.
immediately gets up and grabs you a fresh glass of water.
Did all of us see this tooth
Yes.
fly out of it?
Yeah.
I think Esther would probably go to grab the tooth. For Martha.
It's very
As one does.
small. It's very small, very tiny, like a baby's tooth almost, or like a small
Yeah.
child's tooth.
Yeah. She doesn't. She picks it up.
What are you doing?
Our sister dropped something. I'm just returning it. She's gonna pick it up. She's gonna stand up. She's gonna look at Martha, hand closed, hand over the tooth back.
Going to, palm up, and then once I feel like contact, just give you a little smooch on the back of your hand. Would have been a shame to lose this. Thank you. And I pop it back in my locket.
Of course, sister.
Just then, Keeper starts just yapping and screaming and barking. He's up on all fours and he's staring at the back door that leads outside. The hair on his back is straight up as he starts to growl, and he's pointing. He's a pointer, and he's just got that classic kind of nose pointing at it, and he's just got this low growl like you've never heard before, Mercy,
Oh.
emanating from his throat as he's looking and pointing at the back door.
What is it? Oh, she looks to the back door. Mr. Harker?
Harker is already moving. He's got the poker from the fire, and he steps over to the door and he's like, "What is it, boy?" And the dog still pointing at the door. Harker moves over, turns the handle. What do you want to do? Anything before he opens the door?
I'm gonna grab Keeper by the back of his legs so that he can't bolt forward. So I'm kind of holding him by the hips so he can't run out to whatever or whomever is out there.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else want to do anything?
I think Mabel instinctively goes around the table and is standing so that she's in front of Martha. Kind of almost a territorial, like, protective.
I think Esther just grabs a knife that had been previously used for breakfast and just kind of holds it on the table.
I have a mix of the two. I have a hand on Mabel's shoulder, like, hey, I got your back too, and also grab like a fork, just whatever's nearby. Combination.
You grab a wooden spoon. Harker opens the door, and you see there nothing. Just the backyard. A thick mist has been rolling in. Everyone, give me a logic plus vigilance test. You can add your eagle eye to this thought.
Oh, I could have done. Just tell me if I get any extra successes, because I did succeed. Dang it. Just the one.
2.
Okay. Everyone with 2 successes. You notice as Harker's eyes kind of go down, you notice on the ground near the door what appears to be a bird. Maybe a pigeon. There are feathers spread out all around. And there's the evident red of blood.
Oh, poor thing. Must have run into the house.
I think Mabel will kind of take a couple steps forward and kind of look at the pigeon on the floor. Does it look like Cousin?
It looks like Cousin, but it's not Cousin.
But it's not Cousin. Yeah.
Looks like Cousin because it's a pigeon.
The strange thing as you look at him is you realize that he's been mostly eaten and is lying in a very strange posture with the legs towards you, the head away from you, and the wings spread out, almost in cruciform.
Something's wrong with this pigeon.
Well, it is dead.
I was just gonna say, almost in unison, I would hope.
Yeah.
It is dead.
Some cat or something must have left it on the doorstep. That's probably why Kipo was so upset.
People
Look at
doesn't
its
react to
position.
cats like that.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
Gather up my skirts and sit, like, not sit, but like squat and look at it.
Don't get too close, Martha. You don't know if it has any diseases or anything.
You know, some cultures would see this as a bad omen.
I can't blame them.
Martha, if you're looking closely, you can give me a precision plus medicine roll.
Absolutely. Ooh, I like those odds. We got 1 6.
1 6 is all you need in this game for a success. You notice that it was not eaten. It was very methodically carved clean with a small knife. And the thing that stands out the most to you is that the bird has been blinded.
I'm gonna wave Mercy closer and start pointing out with my wooden spoon like a pointer, explaining how what you just did, of why this implicates this and this, why it's blind here. What kind of omen would you suggest?
Ooh, That is a good question. Is there anything that I can glean from this that would have to do with mythology and?
How do you attempt to do
something
this?
Probably. So when I'm rolling, does it have to be? If I'm rolling observation, does it have to be empathy, or can it be?
Yeah, it has to
logic?
be the attribute attached to
Okay.
the skill. On some occasions, I can decide to, let you roll something else if you make a compelling case. Observation
think
here,
that-
it's important to understand that the difference between observation and vigilance. Vigilance and investigation are a lot more like what we talk about, noticing details and things like that.
Mhm.
Observation is really kind of recognizing how someone's mental state or emotional state is, things of that nature.
Okay. I think investigation and logic makes sense to me.
Okay.
I'm rolling my horn dice. I have no successes.
You have no successes, but you are reminded of an event when you were much younger where you had found on your mother's farm an animal dead after a winter. It was, obviously it died from just being out in the winter and so on and so forth. Nothing untoward like this, but you remember that it had shocked you enough that it had sent you in a bit of a catatonic state for a while, and you'd emerged on the other side a little changed and different. And this reminds you of that a little bit, and without a doubt, you can, even without any successes on your roll, you can smell the presence of magic.
You guys see Mercy grab for her lucky rabbit's foot that's on her waist. And she says to the group, well, it might be some form of message about not looking into stuff, but it could be that animals go for the soft bits first, and it went for the eyes, but it does smell odd. And she looks at her sisters when she says it smells odd.
You see Esther's face kind of of course. She doesn't say anything, but you see this sort of resignation on her face.
As you take all of this in, Mercy, you hear your father's voice. Tender Mercy, you have to burn this bird, and then you have to take the ashes and the bones and everything that remains. You will envelop them in a fine piece of vellum. Wrap it securely with a ribbon and bury it before dusk falls.
Well, we wouldn't want any risk of disease. Why don't Martha, I think perhaps we should burn this and then dispose of the ashes.
At the very least, it won't do any good. Here. In the doorway.
No,
She
it will
goes and
not.
grabs some cloth and picks it up.
Harker gets the little shovel from the fireplace and kind of scoops everything up and puts it in the little bag for you.
Thank you.
My dear girl, says Crane, it's been quite a lot of emotion, and he seems a little shaken, but he says, I think perhaps it might be best if you make your preparations and we're on your way while there is still light. I think that staying to the light will be perhaps most fortuitous in this particular adventure.
Of course. Mabel, will you get my things ready while I take care of this?
Absolutely, yeah. Martha, I can do yours also if you had anything you needed to do. And Esther, while you're at work, I can take care of yours as well. Don't worry about it.
Mabel, that is very kind, but I assure you I can put together my own things. You have to worry about yourself as well. Right?
Yeah, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Mabel is absolutely going to do all of Esther's stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a thing left for her to do.
So tell me what you want to do. So what will you be doing for the next few hours in order to prepare for this trip that you're about to undertake?
Well, I think with the knowledge that Mabel's absolutely going to do her preparations for her, I think she asks for Harker to pick her up in town after she's had a chance to let her employer know that she's not going to be in for a few days. She's hopeful that it won't be a problem since she's doing a favor for Mr. Crane. But Esther recognizes that her position is very precarious. So she's going to be very careful about how she does this. But she's going to be picked up in town once everyone is ready to go.
Will do. Miss Godfrey.
Thank you.
What about
I think
the
she
rest
would
of you?
just go.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think she would just go at that point.
I think Mabel just immediately jumps into action. She's putting together a basket with some food, kind of some non-perishables, some potatoes, and I don't even know what time of year it is for fruits and stuff. Maybe there's apples. She could
I mean,
just
there would definitely
kind of
be pumpkin.
Pumpkin, yeah. Some gourds, some things. She's putting together just a couple of kind of a chest with some simple tools, nothing crazy, just some knives and things. And then she just immediately starts gathering everybody's clothes, putting all the linens in, and she's packing the carriage as it's happening. And she goes and gets cousin from the coop outside, and he's just kind of sitting on her shoulder, and she's just kind of chit-chatting with him as she's doing it.
Martha?
If allowed, I'd like to join Mercy for the little bonfire.
And Mercy will absolutely tell you why we're doing this.
And I'm there nodding, kind of making a mental note of everything. It is half distracted, wanting to be here for this because I gotta see this, but also a lot of looking over my shoulder back at the house and presumably wondering where Mabel is at any kind of given point. Just a check-in of, is she okay? Is she okay? No, this. So slightly distracted, but no more than I would say we're used to.
And Mercy.
That's Mercy will do exactly as she is told and burn it and gather all the ashes and wrap it and bury it.
As you finalize this and finish burying it, Mercy Grace, as always, you do beautiful work. I want you to put this out of your mind. Whoever sent this to you is simply trying to unsettle you and frighten you. There is no need to be afraid. I am with you all.
But you said there was danger.
There is. But I gave you a gift, and I have all the confidence in the world that my girls will be more than up to the task.
Okay.
You stay close to
I'll
keep
tell them about it. Always.
Esther, you arrive in town, go to your work. What is it that you do exactly?
I'm a transcriber for a legal office. So I go into court with whatever lawyer has requested my services, and I transcribe. It's quite interesting. Sometimes it's quite boring. It just depends on what the case is. But it's good work. It's simple work. It's something I'm good at.
Do you have an office, or do you just sort of work for whoever needs you for the moment?
I don't have an office. I have a desk that they have so generously afforded me. It's not personal in any way. It has my things that I need for work and nothing else. Sometimes I'll find things there that I don't remember leaving there, but I'm so busy, it's easy to forget things.
Well, this morning when you arrive, you do find something strange. On your desk is a letter placed right in the middle of the blotter, and is addressed to Mary.
It takes me off guard because the only people who call me Mary were my sisters, and even now they know to call me Esther. That is what I want to be called, and I certainly did not introduce myself as Mary to any of the people here, so my breath catches a little bit as I see the name of the address. But I know it's for me, so I read the letter.
You open it up, and in very elegant handwriting, on a fine piece of paper, is the following. Somewhat of a nursery rhyme. Round and round, the witch in the tree. Round and round, no husband had she. Through the winter, round and round, the hooved one came knocking around. 1 knock, 2 knocks, 3 and 4. 4 years he came hard at her door. Round and round, no husband had she. But by October, 4 daughters had she. And then underneath that is written, I know.
She crumples up the letter in her hand. It's a angry, distressed movement. This is some cruel trick. It's rumors. It's not real. It's just more of what Esther has had to deal with her whole life because of the life her mother led. It's not real. People are horrible. She crumples up the letter and stuffs it in her pocket, intent on burning it when she gets home.
This reminds you something you'd been meaning to write about, something you've seen in a lot of the cases you've been transcribing for. There's one woman in the village. Her name is Irene. She keeps appearing in these cases, always as someone who has told on somebody else, someone who has revealed secrets, someone who has pointed the finger. You've been meaning to do something about that, because the problem is that half the time the cases that are brought forth on Esther's finger pointing are dismissed because they are unfounded.
I can't stand a snitch, especially a snitch that's wrong all the time. It's a waste of everyone's time, and people like that don't understand how even a false accusation can destroy someone's life. Being told that you've stolen something, that you've hurt someone when you haven't, it's a black mark on your name forever, because there are always going to be people who believe that you did do it, that your family did it, that your mother did it, just because someone said so. What gives her that authority?
You want to do anything about it?
Why shouldn't one of her secrets come out?
There's something that stirs deep in you, that the thought of this, there's a sense that there's satisfaction to be had. You, for a moment, imagine what it would feel like for her to be the one who has fingers pointed at her, to have people not trust her, to have people speak of her. You imagine her discomfiture, you imagine her alienation from the rest of the town, certainly for a little while, and for some odd reason there's a little part of you that is tickled by that.
It would be good for everyone if her word wasn't taken as gospel. If doubt was sowed in her direction. I would be doing a good thing. It would be the right thing to do.
What do you do?
Before anyone comes to see Esther, before she goes to her boss to tell him about her little excursion, Esther finds a dark room. She's brought with her a pen and paper, and she sits in the darkness. And she lets these feelings sort of wash over her. Until that's all there is in the dark. It's just her feeling. She can't really feel herself anymore, her body. I could use a talent I have called automatic writing. I just need to re-look at what automatic writing does.
So automatic writing basically is exactly what it sounds like. You get to pull a piece of paper and a pen, a piece of paper and a pencil or a quill, and you start writing. And as you start writing, you go into somewhat of a trance. You lose yourself, and eventually things are revealed to you. Do you want to use it?
I do. I sure do.
You will roll your empathy plus inspiration.
I can do that. So that is 5 apiece.
Before you roll,
Hmm?
before you roll, I'll give you a choice. You can either roll empathy and inspiration, or you can swap out empathy for magic, which means you're rolling a bit less dice, one die less. But the result, if you do get a success, will be that much more potent.
Well, then I have to roll with magic. So that is 4 dice plus 3 inspiration. Yeah. That is one success.
One success.
Mm-hmm.
You begin writing. As always, you feel something take over you, as if someone is guiding your hand as you're writing. You lose sense of time. You don't see what you're doing. Words just flow out of through you out of the pen, almost as if it was your very own life's blood that was pouring through it as you write and write and write and write. After what feels like only a few moments, but you realize has been nearly an hour, you look down at the piece of paper that you have. And you realize you've not been writing. You've drawn something. You've drawn what appears to be a pair of antlers. A pair of antlers, as if from a deer. Above it is an evil eye inside a crooked sun. The deer's eyes have been cut out and are bleeding. There are trees and mist and snow. And beneath this vision are 4 tombstones.
She tears it up. This isn't what I wanted. This isn't not. She tears up the paper. She shoves the scraps into her pocket. She leaves the room shaken as anything, having to catch her breath. She's gotten distracted. There was no point. This was stupid and useless. She lost control again. It happened again. She has to get back home. No, she told him to come here with her sisters. Good, fine. She can't go home. She has to stay here. She has to talk to her boss. Fine. She sort of recenters herself, walking through all these different steps. And she brushes herself off, makes her way to her boss's office.
And as you deal with your boss, what is Martha doing?
Presuming not staying the whole time for the bonfire. I think once the main event's done, I'm bored. It's that, all right, you will handle this part of it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go back inside the house, and knowing we're going to a hospital and hearing some of the events that maybe transpired, just digging through some of the books that Crane has to see if there's anything that might be applicable. Pack a little medical bag, that kind of thing.
On your way back to the house, you notice something strange. The door to the barn, which you're pretty sure you had latched shut, is open, swinging in the wind. It opens slowly and then closes with a punk, punk, punk. Funk, funk, funk.
Well, that is irritating and shouldn't be happening. So I'm going to go fix that.
You walk towards the barn, As you do, you notice a pair of footsteps embedded deeply into the grass and the dew that's on the ground, leading into the barn.
Tension gets stuck to the footprints, and there's that moment. We should be doing something else. We should be packing our bags. Should be helping your sisters. And then I'm going to start matching the footsteps and walking into the barn, following them.
You get all the way to the door.
Peek inside.
You open the door and start peeking. At the other end, where the table is, you can see that the blanket that was covering your delivery from this morning has been moved, and in fact is mostly hanging off the table, and from where you can see, you can only see about the bottom, half a meter or something of the table, but you should be seeing this morning's delivery there, but the body is not there.
Oh no, that's not good. I'm gonna look for signs of anything like maybe a cart or like maybe Harker or Crane or somebody came by and went, this isn't supposed to be here, and moved it. So we're gonna look for logical signs of where it might have been moved to.
Where do you look?
Exits first, I think.
You go
that
around
would be
the barn. You don't
right,
notice
yeah.
any other footsteps or anything else.
I think I'm so stuck. Like, it has to be a wagon. It has to be a wagon. So, or a cart. That they wouldn't have just thrown him over their shoulder. So I'm looking kind of specifically in the track marks for.
You see nothing.
Any other directions? Anything else that seems odd? Like,
no.
Sure, there were footprints that went in. No, nothing.
Nothing seems to have come out.
Huh. I'm going to double check my apron that I wore earlier. I want to know if there's actual stains on it. I want to make sure I didn't just imagine this. If my apron has stains, then that means something happened this morning at least.
Your apron has stains.
Yes. Okay. We're like basically system are trying to eliminate the what's real, what's not real. Not that that's something I have really struggled with, but maybe a soft fear that I'm catching on what Mabel has.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to shut the door and scurry back in to find my twin.
No problem. Where is your twin?
I would say at this point she's probably upstairs in Esther's room, and she's like folding like, a week's worth of clothes into Esther's chest. And so she's kind of like sitting kind of crisscross applesauce in front of Esther's chest, and she's like slowly putting stuff in, and she's just like, she's got cousin on her shoulders and is just kind of talking to herself.
If this was a movie, the camera would be in front of you on the ground and we'd be seeing you in focus do that, and then out of focus behind you, blurry, we would see a shape move and sit down in a chair behind you, and then we'd hear the voice say, I've heard the trees talk about you too,
Mabel gets very tense. She like she kind of sits very straight, and the very nice dress that she's currently holding, one of Esther's like favorites, she just starts clenching it very tightly. She says, please go away, please go away, please go away, please go away.
Would that wishing made it so. But you and I were bound to what you did to me. We're going to be together for a long, long time.
She's just kind of like rocking a little bit. And there's just a tear rolling down her cheek as she's just clenching so tightly that she's breaking the skin of her palm with her nails, slowly just ruining Esther's dress.
Have you seen him yet? Deer with no eyes, staring at you, staring right into your soul. Have you seen him yet?
I think at this point, she turns to look at the chair and she screams, "Would you just go away?" as loud as she can, knowing that he can't hear her. But
Martha, you're standing in the doorway and you watch your sister screaming at an empty chair. Would you just go away? And she seems very distraught.
Not missing a beat, like rushing in, wrapping my arms around Mabel and looking at the same chair, repeating, "Leave her alone. Go away. We don't need you here."
You hear nothing, Mabel. Aside from your sister's words.
and like the now there's just tears streaming down her face. She's just like shaking in your arms.
Mabel, I'm sorry. I should have stayed with you. I'm sorry. And like trying to smooth your hair and gently taking out Esther's dress and like putting it to a side, noting the little like dots of blood from your hands. And so we can take care of that later. It's okay. Mabel, I'm so sorry. Mabel, I'm so
She's
sorry.
gonna be so mad. She's gonna be so mad. It's
no.
her favorite. It's her favorite.
It is. You're her more favorite. It's okay.
He won't leave me alone everywhere I go in this house.
Which one?
The one with the eyes.
I'm gonna nod as if that makes sense. And again, kind of just go back to smoothing and like trying to like dry your face too. I'm sorry. Well, it's okay. We're gonna get out of here and maybe he'll stay here.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe I just need a break. I need a break.
Fresh air. You and cousin? Us and cousin. Sisters.
Us and
Sisters
cousin.
and cousins.
Yes, sisters and cousins. Yeah, and keep her.
And keep her. Yep.
Keep her. Okay.
I think you need this. We'll be okay.
Maybe he'll stay here this time.
Yeah. And like again, I'm gonna turn to the chair, presuming again that whatever's here, and just reiterate, you will stay here. We do not need you. Leave Mabel alone. Whether it's actually for real or just something to say, like yelling at the monsters under a bed, it's worth it to say it.
And I think that the like reassurance calms Mabel down enough that she kind of stops crying and goes back to putting stuff in Esther's chest.
I'm gonna take Esther's nice dress and kind of just mutter to myself, I think if we get her to spit on this, it'll get rid of the stains faster.
Why would that work? Why can't I just use my spit or something?
And then like I stop, like I go to start and I stop, like, well, I'm not sure. Maybe your spit would work with my blood. I don't think so though. There's something about the way that our liquids attach to our own liquids. But so yours shouldn't work on hers, but yours might work with mine. Do you want to try it?
Yeah, because we're one and the same.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. But it's going to be okay.
Makes sense to me.
Sounds like science.
You were coming here to see your sister for a reason, Martha.
Good point. Distracted by everything. Trying to help Fold. I'm not nearly as good as you are at the helping, but I'm trying. Mabel, did you move my body by chance?
No, I don't usually go to your shop.
And it would have been okay. I know you like to keep busy.
Yeah, but they like to talk.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. You haven't seen a body wandering, have you?
Well, Professor Crane doesn't like it when we bring it inside the house.
Yeah, he prefers it out there, which I'm just very confused because normally
Wait, hang on. What do you mean walking? What do you mean up and about? It's dead, right?
Particularly after what I did this morning. But maybe not. Maybe I should ask I'm Martha. Maybe I should ask Mercy about resurrection. No, it probably makes more sense that maybe their neck wasn't as broken as we thought. Maybe they were just sleeping.
But don't you usually take their insides and put on their outsides?
I do. And I had to make quick work of it. I just... What
Did
if...
you put them back on the inside? Maybe they got better.
I might have healed them on accident.
Oh, that's fabulous! That's so cool!
I'm going to start scrambling around the room for a notebook, trying to recall everything that I did this morning.
Yeah. See, you took their insides to their outsides, and you put the insides from the outsides back on the inside. Did you put it back in the same place? Maybe it's like a puzzle.
And while they try to figure that out, Mercy, you've done your job. You have buried the bird. You are outside, having gotten ready, playing with Keeper a little bit, throwing a stick and having him bring it back to you. You watch Martha stomp towards the barn, kind of peer inside and go around it twice, seeming very confused, and then come back around the front and closing the door of the barn and locking it, and then very quickly rushing back to the house.
Seems weird, but honestly not that weird with us and my sisters. I think maybe Mercy will go in and try to help Mabel and finish packing things up, so she might join right at the end.
As you're walking back towards the house, you hear the voice. It says, "Sweet Mercy, would you give your sister, Mary, a message for me?"
She wants us to call her Esther now.
But Mary's such a beautiful name. The implications of that name alone are very delicious.
Okay.
I would like for you to tell her that it wasn't what she intended, but it was what she needed.
And will she know that's what it means, or what
She'll
it's about?
understand. Yes, she'll understand.
Sorry, give that to me one more time.
It is not what she intended, but it was what she needed.
Ah. Any other words of wisdom before we make our voyage?
Yes, you should take that. And as the voice says that, you round the corner towards the back door, and you see the pile of wood that Harker has chopped up, ready for the stove while you are gone. And in a direct beam of sunlight where everything else is in shadow, you see the old hand axe that Harker uses to chop the kindle planted in the chopping block.
Okay, Daddy.
Good girl.
She goes over and she picks up the axe and she puts it under her skirt and holds the handle at her waist as she kind of gathers her skirt a little bit, so it just looks like she's like hiking up her skirt as she's coming inside, but she has hidden the axe underneath.
You walk back inside and hear a bit of a commotion upstairs coming from the twins' room.
Jog up the stairs. Is everyone okay?
We think Martha learned how to resurrect bodies.
It's my life's work coming together.
That's wonderful.
Isn't it?
Can you pack this in our bags? And she takes the axe out and puts it down.
Yeah. Can I ask why?
Daddy said we should bring it.
Okay. Maybe not in Esther's stuff, though.
No, it is quite dirty. But I don't know if you picked up on what I was saying earlier. And she kind of like looks around conspiratorially. I think that bird had magic on it.
Oh. Is that why you burned it?
Yes.
So we had more to worry about than just illness.
Yes.
So much magic today. 2 magics. 2 in one day.
What was the other one?
The walking corpse.
Oh, I thought that was science.
What's magic besides science we haven't defined yet?
Huh. Yeah.
That doesn't make much
a lot of
sense.
sense.
It's okay. I believe it in my heart. That's all that matters.
Okay. We trust you.
Is everything ready?
Just about. I just have to stitch up Esther's dress.
Oh. Did she rip it again?
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay. I'm gonna go pack some more snacks.
Okay.
As you turn to leave, you see Mr. Harker just sort of stick his head in the door and go, "Are you girls ready? It might be time for us to go and pick up your sister. And I'd like to get some, make some headway before sunlight fails us. Shall we say 10 minutes downstairs? I'll bring your bags up."
Yes, Mr. Harker.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
By the way, has anyone seen my chopping axe? It was right in the chopping block and behind the house.
Mercy puts her hand behind her back, crosses her fingers, and goes, I haven't seen it all day.
Nope.
No, I must have misplaced it. Very well. See you downstairs in a few minutes. And he picks up your bags and heads down.
She turns around and shows her sisters. Okay, I'm gonna grab some apples. Come on, Keeper.
Keeper follows behind you. He's been a bit subdued, but he's otherwise kind of doing okay. As you exit, Martha, you catch out of the window sight of the barn. You still don't know where your body is, but I'll leave that up to you to decide what you do with that. Surely nothing bad can happen.
I was gonna say, like, I don't want to ask anyone else about it because I get the feeling it's a blind eye situation about the bodies, and I don't want to have to admit that I lost a body. So
I'm sure it's fine if you just walk away.
If they found it, then they found it and took care of it. If I'm a miracle scientist now, then I will also be sure to take that in the future. More bodies are going to be needed to determine. That's a future me problem.
Excellent. And as the three of you pack up your lunches and the rest of your affairs and say your goodbyes with Professor Crane, who gives you hugs and is very misty-eyed and certainly has that feeling of seeing his daughters, in the matter of speaking, go off for the first time. He makes you promise to still say your prayers and to write to him and to all that. And you remind him you're only gone for 4 or 5 days, but still, he wants to make sure you've packed everything you need to pack and everything. And while all that's going on, back in town, Esther, you are waiting, having secured from your employer a few days off, of course, at your own expense.
Of course.
You are waiting for the carriage and your sisters and Mr. Harker.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a empathy and observation roll.
Oh. That is... Okay. That is 2 successes. Yes.
2 successes. You notice across the street someone staring very intently at you. It is
Someone?
Yeah, it is a young man, very well dressed, obviously someone of means. He's wearing strange glasses that have these mirrored sides to them and are very dark, almost too dark for you to see his eyes. He is tall and not necessarily very handsome, but obviously someone of good breeding and well off. And he's staring at you, and as you catch his eye, he smiles a little bit. Suddenly, you feel alone. You feel completely alone, as if the people around you don't see you, don't notice you, walk around you, don't even realize you're there. You catch a glimpse of yourself in a small cabin, not unlike that where you were raised, in the middle of the woods somewhere. Very alone, very ignored, very forgotten. Your sister's gone. That image, that feeling settles into your heart with a cold certainty. You're going to be alone. You're going to be abandoned and remain just single little witch living in the forest with no one. Thank you very much, Patrick. You shake your head. The man is no longer there.
It's not real. It's never real. It's not real.
Carriage pulls up. You see Mr. Harker, who hops off and immediately opens the door to help you in. You see inside your sisters, all bundled up. Sorry for the lateness of the hour. We had a few mishaps at the house. Please, let me help you.
It's all right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Harker. Thank you for getting them all safely in the carriage with no additional mishaps.
He closed the door behind him and leans in the window and looks at the 4 of you. You may as well get some rest. It'll be a few hours before we get to the inn. It'll be quite dark by the time we get there, but it'll be safe. If there's any issue or any problem at all, please just hammer on the front of the carriage and I will be sure to hear you.
Of course, thank you.
And he climbs aboard, and with a clippity-clop, the horse-drawn carriage begins rolling on towards your destination. The four of you are sitting there. I would like to note that Mabel, you hear occasionally sound of someone whistling. Fades after a while. The four of you are in the carriage with a few hours to kill. What do you do?
Sisters, I have something to tell you.
Yes, Mercy?
I was given a gift today from Daddy, and she pulls out the coin, the silver piece. He said it is the Morning Star, and it will keep us safe.
Safe from what, Mercy?
Well, he said there's great danger ahead of us, but he will be with us, so if we keep this with us, it'll keep us safe.
Where did you get it? Where did you find it?
It was in the tree at the end of the yard.
Well, I, for one, feel better for its protection.
Well, if Father said so.
Oh, he also had a message for you, Esther.
He did?
Yes. He said, it is not what you intended, but it is what you needed.
You see, like, a pause, like the cogs in her brain have sort of stuck before she looks a bit like resentful for a millisecond, and then it's gone. And she's back to sort of neutral. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, thank you for passing on the message, Mercy. How nice of him to tell you.
She puts her hand on Esther's forearm and gives it a squeeze. It says, we all have specialties.
Did he have anything for me?
I think it was the axe.
Ooh, the axe.
What axe?
What axe?
We had to borrow the axe for the trip.
Just borrow. We'll bring it back to Mr. Harker.
You stole Mr. Harker's axe.
Borrowed?
Borrowed?
It's not borrowing if you don't ask for permission.
I think it's about the return.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's about bringing it back.
Yeah, 3-1 on that one.
Yes, I suppose I am bound to get outvoted. Why do we need the axe?
Unclear.
Ah, unclear.
Maybe
Do you
it'll
know
get-
how to use an axe?
Well, of course. Maybe it'll get chilly at night and I'll have to split wood.
Yes. Yes,
Or
I'm
if we get
I'm
locked
sure
out of a
that's
house, then we can knock it in.
Yeah.
it. Yes.
Maybe there's another pigeon we'll have to burn.
covers like Cousin's ears.
Oh, he's fine. He knows. I told him all about it.
So sorry, Cousin.
Well, he knows that will be his fate one day.
we have to have a serious conversation about tact at some point. Tact.
Is that one of the big words you learned at work?
One of many. Listen, I want all of you to look at this trip as an opportunity for us, for all of you to see if there's anything that you might want to do outside of home.
Why?
Well, Mr. Crane won't be around forever, and neither will Mr. Harker. And it's important that we can take care of ourselves. And it's a big world out there for all of us, Martha. It's a big world, and there might be something in it that you want that you won't find here.
I have everything that I want. I have my sisters, I have my shop, and really, when the inevitable does happen, and our dear Crane passes, I'm sure in his will to pass the property onto you, and then we'll all continue as we are.
Together.
Forever and ever.
With perhaps a rich husband.
Yes, perhaps a rich husband or spouse or whomever. Mercy, I do want you to be especially careful. While we're out, we're going to meet many strangers who may not understand your way with things. It might offend them, hurt them, their feelings.
Oh. Okay.
I know you're fascinated with many things. It's one of the things that I love about you. You're very, very clever. Other people can be closed-minded. This goes for all of you. You have to be careful with what you say. People aren't always going to be understanding. Which means no talking about dead bodies in front of strangers with excitement. No inquiring with people about why they believe in the particular mythology with that word in particular. And Mabel, just have fun if you can, all right? Don't be too nervous, all right? Take some time, enjoy the new scenery, maybe pick up a new book. You don't have to worry about us all the time, all right? It's going to be a nice opportunity for us all to learn something.
All right, Esther. I think we can do that for you.
Thank you.
Anything else you would like to do or talk about in a few hours that you have before you get to the inn?
I think Mercy will start reading a book aloud for everybody as they try to fall asleep.
Mabel will finish stitching Esther's dress.
What happened to my dress?
I need you to spit on this.
What? Why do we have to spit on it?
Well, we tried my spit and it didn't work.
What? What is that?
As right along, wondering whose spit you should use. You ride along in a coach as the wheels grind over the damp, leaf-strewn road. The Woods on either side fading into shadow beneath a moonless sky. The lanterns sway from their iron brackets, casting narrow golden arcs that tremble across the tree trunks. It's been a long, cold, dark ride, and most of you are likely half asleep, lulled by the sway of the carriage. It's late, well past 10 by your reckoning, and the air has grown sharp with the promise of frost. The autumn has nearly burned itself out, and what leaves remain are brittle, curled things that rustle in the wind like whispers. The road crests a hill, and then the coach begins its slow descent into a shallow hollow. There, partially hidden by a copse of pine, you see the faint outline of the inn. A low, broad house of weathered stone and timber. Its eaves sag slightly with age, and moss rims the base where the forest has tried to take it back. A sign swings on rusted hinges above the door, "The Way House." The paint faded but still legible. One lamp burns beside the entrance, its light flickering with the breeze, not quite strong enough to chase the darkness from the porch. The coach rolls to a stop on the packed earth drive. Mr. Harker says, "Girls, this is our stop for the night. I'll bring in the bags. Esther, why don't you take your sisters inside and warm up? I'll be right along."
Thank you, Mr. Harker. I will.
You step down. The night is still, no crickets, no owls, only the hush of the wind threading through the trees. Somewhere, far off, water moves, a creek perhaps, or a small river you didn't see in the dark. As your boots touch the ground, they crunch over frost-laced leaves. A thin line of smoke curls from the chimney, just visible against the starlit sky. Someone is awake, at least. And then, you hear it. A bell tolls. Somewhere in the distance, echoing through the forest, along the dark path which you just drove. And then again, a thick mist begins to rise, thicker than it has any right to be. The sky lightens. Somehow, it's now magic hour, neither day nor night. Fog moves in, pressing close to the road, turning the familiar path into something strange, muffled and gray. The carriage sits behind you, listless, empty, no Mr. Harker. No smoke curls from the chimney of the inn. It appears also empty, the door open, the windows without any light in them. What do you do?
I think I lead my 3 sisters up to the door. There's someone inside, ostensibly, and Mr. Crane did say that he had made arrangements for us, so they should be expecting us. And so I knock on the door, I think.
The place is empty. It's filled with cobwebs and dust, furniture that remains broken, seemingly abandoned a long time ago.
Mercy grabs Esther's hand.
Something is wrong.
I thought there was supposed to be someone here.
Well,
I don't think we're seeing it as it is.
Where did Mr. Harker go?
Esther's going to squeeze Mercy's hand, a comforting thing. It'll be all right. What we can't see with our eyes, we can still feel. Sometimes our eyes play tricks on us, after all. Isn't that right, sisters? correct?
From far away, behind you, somewhere in the fog, you hear Mr. Harker's voice, distant, muffled. Girls? Esther? Mercy? Where are you girls? Martha? Mabel? Where are you?
We're here.
Wait.
The voice gets further and further away from you. Girls? Where are you?
It's a trick.
What would be tricking us?
Bell tolls again. From somewhere out there.
Mercy takes Esther's hand and then she kisses it. And in doing so, I'm going to use one of my talents to bless her.
Excellent.
You get to add 2 to a test of your choice.
Okay, awesome. I was like, what does that do?
I would like to roll to see if I can figure out what's going on
Mm-hmm.
with magic.
Mm-hmm.
Would this be logic and magic, perhaps?
Sure.
Because there seems to be some tomfoolery going around, and it doesn't seem very logical.
Someone's
to me.
messing with us.
Shenanigans, even.
Perhaps. Oh boy. All right, that's 2 successes.
You're not sure what's going on. You've never experienced anything like this. You've had little visions here and there, but never anything where the entire world around you got replaced.
I'm going to lean into Mabel. Do you hear anything?
Mabel will close her eyes and she'll concentrate and try to listen for any voices in the area.
It's coming. It's almost here. You're gonna see it too soon. And when you do, it'll mean your death.
I think as Mabel is hearing the words, I think she instinctively is reciting it out loud and isn't actually listening to what she's hearing. And then when she's done, she'll look at the 3 of you kind of expectantly.
What's coming?
Looks at
Didn't say.
Martha.
You hear the
That's
bell
Martha's
toll
job.
again. Sorry. You hear the bell toll again. When you look around you, what was once forest is now a wide open empty field. The remains of corn stalks, rotted and cut and shredded and destroyed, litter the ground around you. The fog is everywhere. The bell tolls again from deep in the fog, and Mr. Harker's voice sounds even further away.
Hand sisters. She
Esther
reaches
has
out.
not let go of your hand.
They're stronger than whatever this is.
The only way out might be through.
It may not be a trick. Mr. Harker might very well be our anchor.
Then lead the way.
And Esther will start walking in the direction of Mr. Harker's voice, keeping her eyes forward and clutching Mercy's hand.
The fog presses close to the road, turning the familiar path into something strange. Muffled and gray, the fields to your left and right are swallowed whole, and trees beyond rise as only vague silhouettes. Even your own breath, quickening slightly, seems to vanish before it can truly leave your lips. You walk softly, your footsteps soft Hesitant on the dew-wet path, you keep glancing back, though you don't know why. There's no one behind you. Not that you can see. Then it comes again. Bell. Low, distant sound, solemn and slow. It rings once. The sound carries as though the source is hidden. It doesn't seem to come from ahead or behind, but from around you, as if the fog itself is tolling the bell. The second chime follows after a long pause, not hurried, not frantic, just steady, rhythmic. Each toll seems to pull at you, gently but insistently. The fog shifts as you walk, curling around bare hedgerows and tangled fences. No birds call, no wind moves. Eventually the road narrows, then disappears altogether. The bell still rings. You step off the path into the tall grass and wet earth of a forgotten field. I think you see a stone wall, long crumbled. Rusted iron gate stands open at the edge of a clearing. And the fog parts like a curtain. And there, in the center, a great blackened tree rises. Its bark is charred, gnarled as though it survived some ancient fire, but still grows. Its branches twist toward the pale sky, every limb oddly spaced, reaching in unnatural angles. Beneath it are gravestones. Weathered, half sunk, the old kind made of wood. And as you see this, the bell stops. What do you do?
I know everything's very rotten and ruined, but I would like to see if there's any remnants of the flowers I saw in my vision earlier.
Can we read anything on the gravestones?
The wood of the tombstones is old, ancient, even cracked and weathered. The names barely legible, but still, as you approach, you read Mabel Godfrey.
I don't want to worry anyone, but that one says my name.
These are old. They cannot be for us, right?
I've seen this place.
You have?
I have seen an image of this place. The tree, the graves. There was something else. There was a deer with no eyes. That is what Father was talking about in the message that he left for me. That it's not the vision I wanted, but it's the one I needed.
Mercy, did Father say that he would show us something tonight? Is this his doing?
Father's never done anything like this. I don't think so. I think this is... Maybe it's somebody trying to scare us.
Maybe. Esther's gonna look up at the sky.
And as you do, looking up, the tree explodes into dozens and dozens of black ravens, all cawing as they shoot up into the sky, leaving nothing behind but the charred stump of an old tree, every branch having been a raven.
Can I see a star in the sky?
Hard to see anything beyond the fog that enshrouds you.
All right, old man. You said the morning star would guide us. Where's that damn star?
Martha, as your sister is up looking at the sky, looking for a star, you see it. Just on the edge of the mist. A deer. Mangy. Old. Wild. But its eyes are gone, leaving only big open black holes that seem to stare straight into you. Trails of old dried blood matting its fur on its cheeks. And up ahead, in the sky, as you look up looking for the star, you see it again. Bloody eye holes and black woods in the mist. And above the head, between the horns, an eye staring at you, unblinking. And then, my friends, is where we're going to end tonight. Our little session of Vaesen was a nice quiet session where we got to learn about our characters a little bit.
Incredible. 10 out of 10.
Hell yeah.
I can't believe that's where we're being left.
We have a whole
1
week
week?
to figure it out, guys.
And on that note,